Understand? And then to boot, after they buy your animal, they are not going to sell it at no cheap price when they finish killing. They're going to sell you at the market price for the meat. Whether it's $10 a pound, $12 a pound, they go in full price. So the farmers have been losing over the years and they are fed up of it. Many of them have been speaking out. And there's no regulatory body that is dealing with that in terms of the price control for the, as far as I am seeing. You know, don't say that is how it is. It's just my opinion on it, that they have been taken advantage of. And now that animals are scarce, nobody don't really want to sell the animals unless they get fair price for it. Animals have been scarce since the eruption of La Soufrière. A lot of animals died. Some died from dehydration.
But it's not a,
others perished because they didn't have.
It's not a recent problem though. It's a problem from since 2019.
But it got worse with the eruption of La Soufrière. So now we're feeling the effects of all of that combined with all these other factors. So yes, we do have a shortage of meat or animals to kill so that we can get meat to eat, but it is understandable. It's not that we're shipping out everything, bro. And I don't know. It's a good step being taken by the ministry right now. As they say, they're trying to figure out what we have, how much of what we have, and what is exportable and what we should keep. That is a great move, in my opinion. In my opinion, that is a very, very great initiative, and it is something that should have been done, but I'm glad that it's happening now.
So why we didn't look at probably us exporting it to the the other OECS countries instead of just linking it to one person alone?
I don't know. I'm not a part of the ministry. I'm not the minister of agriculture.
Like we could do a bit more here in terms of our own agro-processing and our own exporting on that end.
I wouldn't doubt, and I've seen the need for it, and I personally was looking into a similar venture when it comes to agro-processing, because I look at the way, and this has nothing to do with livestock basically, for the most part, but it could, you know what I mean? Listen to this, right? When you look at the market on a Saturday morning after the whole hustle and bustle of a Friday, sometimes you see bananas and plantains and all types of other crops left on the ground there to rot basically. Now, when I look at that, I feel bad for different reasons. I'm upset for different reasons about it. One, some of these vendors are taking people's stuff on consignment. If they don't sell and they spoil or whatever, although they could reduce the prices sometime and give people at a cheaper rate and still make a money, they rather leave it to spoil and they go back to the people they consign the goods from sometime and say, boy, the thing did spoil and I ain't get for selling none out of it. So they may really have a loss. The farmers losing still. You understand? And then all that food that could have been on somebody's plate is wasted because somebody didn't want to compromise and say, hey, the thing moving slow, a lot the hay, let me sell it cheap and at least make something, give the farmer a little something. I keep a little something. We losing, you know, but at least we get back something and he go get back something to invest again, or she go get back something to invest again. And I ain't go walk away empty-handed. And the capital ain't gonna be littered with food that could have been utilized, but now it's here spoiling because I didn't want to compromise. Another thing is, we have a problem with food security. And I see a lot of wastage happening in that field. Otherwise to that, with agro-processing, if we process the crops that we grow and we package them properly, the food would last longer. You understand? And you could sell it to people already almost in prime state, or in the best possible state of readiness for cooking. It's already peeled, it's already washed, it's already clean. So you just take it out the package, you add whatever you need to add to it, and you put it in your pot. You're good to go. You understand? That in itself makes it more attractive for people who do not want to get their hands dirty. As we know, long nails are a fashion statement these days with a lot of the ladies. And even men don't even want to get their hands dirty in certain things now. So picture you going to a supermarket and you're picking up a package of breadfruit that is vacuum sealed, already peeled and everything, just ready to go in the pot. You understand? It might be a little extra, couple dollars, but for the convenience and for the fact that it will last longer than if it's just there in the hot sun all the by the market. You understand? It will save some of the wastage, and it will make the product last longer in the long term.
One of the concerns from the farmers, from the butcher, is that the butcher is saying that he's not able to get meat to supply to hotels. This is also another problem in terms of there's no meat, so we have to import.
Well,
It's the case where we would have to import now. Why can't we have at least put something in place like a proper breeding facility? I mean, there's still some mediocrity in it.
we just need proper organization, and we need to maintain what we have. When we organize, maintain it. Don't just do it for a time to have a little photo up and say, oh, we did this, we did that, and we're putting this in place. But actually have a continuous program.
For instance, we had a dairy farm here. It's no longer operational.
And what is the reason for that crash?
What is the reason for it?
Yeah.
Poor management.
How you're sure about that?
I would.
You're speculating, bro.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, I mean,
You
poor
can't say
management.
them things, bro. A lot has changed over the years. Maybe operational costs went up, and they were not able to meet those operational costs.
Could be.
You understand?
But
Another
I
thing.
feel like you look around and you see a lot of they usually start with a hype with a lot of projects and they don't continue.
Bro, I feel the private sector could do a lot more in St. Vincent and the Grenadines too, but they just fall short or they're reluctant to. Hold on, somebody's calling. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good day. Are you hearing me?
Yes, please.
Yeah, good day. Yes, and good. It's my other friend there. I think you're raising a very good topic, and sometimes the hardest part is that you have so much farmers who won't even give you a little shout up and say, well, what is really happening realistically on the ground? I talk to Mr. Terry, Mr. Gibson all the time.
Yeah.
A lot of the Gibsons, they meet and the tremendous difficulties they're having, especially around Christmas time. And what they're doing, they're actually exporting a lot of these animals to Grenada and those other countries. And they're building up their stock. We're losing our stock. We are having serious problems. It means then that when you have shortage, you're going to have a serious price hike.
Yep.
That is why we can't get up. My brother, me tell you something, we can't. So even the little fish they come down with sometimes, $5 a pound, we can't even buy that. So we have to resort now to, no, I'm talking here, my brother, me no politics, you know. There's a labor man here, but me drop labor, me drop ULP. So nobody brand me. I'm talking about the real gravity of what you're speaking about.
Straight.
But what I'm saying here is not just animals, it's
widespread.
Is widespread. So you see, for example,
Food security.
85% of our lands. I mean, we could stand in front of a judge, you know. Bring the baddest one you could think of, cattle. Put me in front of him and say, sir, you're making these statements. I am telling you, this country, this island, when you compare St. Lucia, Grenada, Dominica, they could say, well, 1 million pounds of fish exported. Grenada could see, very close to 600, 700, 1,000 pounds of fish exported. Things like that. And what we are not exporting no fish. We don't have any agriculture produce anymore. We don't have bananas. We don't have ginger. We don't have pepper. We don't have arrow.
No, we have them, but not in large quantities.
Well, the thing is that, when I say we don't have them, I'm not talking here that you won't get ginger, but I'm talking about mass production. And I am only saying here for me to go back to the animals and so on. I am very, very hurt for what is happening. Who really is responsible for the Ministry of Agriculture to make sure that we liaison with the farmers and sit with them? But the thing is that we're not going to get anywhere because, as you know, you raised this very vital topic. One farmer, one butcher, one would call here because many of them are protecting, I don't know if it's their investment or protecting the party. My brother, we have a very serious situation, and you all are getting it right. And I don't know. I'm happy for what I'm hearing from you. I used to think about Fuji raising issues that affect them. Maybe you're going to invoke them tomorrow or next week to, form a delegation and say, no, it must stop. We want back our country. We want back accountability. I love you, my brother. God bless you all.
Respect. A very, very passionate addition to the discussion this morning, boy. Hey, well, we have a few voice notes coming here. You want to take them now?
Yeah, go through.
All right. As we proceed to give you what you need, the wake up call on X104.3. Listen.
I can hear you going on now. I don't know why the government don't raise people pay. It's time enough now for people to raise. You will keep raising everything and not raising people pay. Man, them things are right. Time for we Vincent should stand up against that. You understand me?
Okay.
I can hear you going on. How come them people from Grenada keep coming and buying out the cattle and the sheep and the goat? So what, might they not buy dog too? Fixing Vince get plenty dog for selling now.
This is the wake up call.
I think Grenada high enough dogs. We sending dogs Florida already. You white a shortage of dog to guard people your next bread. What kind of thing you trying on us, boy? Anyways, man. Big and serious though, we need to look into food security here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. La Soufrière's eruption should have taught us a lot, and so much should have been put in place right after that.
You know, you say food security there. That is actually true now, because we sell tourism so heavy, but we don't realize our country is heavy on agriculture as well. I'm not saying that they don't do much for it. They do, but a lot more can be done in terms of not just educating the farmers, but providing the opportunities for young farmers as well.
Listen to me, eh? From my overview and my view, my vantage point. I'm from the valley. I'm from the Mesopotamia Valley, Mariaqua, where it is called the food basket of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And the fact is, we are not producing like we used to before. And the fact is, it is getting a lot more costly to produce food. You understand? A spray can that you might have buy for 2 something back in the days is now 5 something. You understand? Almost everything from Ura to Manio is 100 and something sometimes a sack. You understand? Prices have increased. The pay for workers, yo, man is charged up to $80 a day, no, to be on a farm working, you know. You check. And then you gotta think about things like transportation. You know, there's a lot of different metrics that go into farming, and I feel farmers get a very raw deal. And 2, I don't think it is available for farmers. It is very much viable for farmers to go into farming without having a solid financial backing. And it is hard to get loans for farming. You quicker get a loan for a car than to go and lease a piece of land or buy a piece of land to do farming.
So why not put in those initiatives?
Well, that is for the powers that be to look into. You understand? And set up support systems for farmers, because farmers support us. And another thing, I always say this. We keep speaking about having a healthier, better society. The rates of diabetes has gone up significantly since the eruption of La Soufrière. And also, there are more pressure cases. And these are chronic diseases, and they stem from improper dieting, eating the wrong foods, and not being as physically active as you should be. Amongst other things, hereditary issues, so on and so forth. But we keep speaking about a healthier society. Bro, since high school and grammar school has moved to the Arnisville area on the tarmac, have you passed across Arnisville and see the restaurants that sell fast foods? It is loaded with school children between the lunch period. Loaded, overloaded. And we know these are not the healthiest foods. We know this as a nation, we know this. But at the end of the day, there's no initiatives being put across or facilitated between the Ministry of Agriculture and Education to get healthier foods into the school systems.
So what you would suggest something like that?
I would suggest, right, parlaying with farmers, looking into healthy snacks like plantain chips and so forth. Healthier alternatives than the regular sodium-packed artificial cheese-filled cheese snacks, and you know, the sweets and the gummies and different things that we know lead to health problems down the line. And giving them healthy alternatives and making the prices for the less healthier ones more expensive to deter people, especially children, from consuming them, so we could save the next generation from themselves. These are things that we could put in place. It isn't hard, you know. And if you want more local products to sell, you increase the import duties on the ones coming in from outside. And you encourage people to buy local. And you help facilitate the structuring or restructuring of local production. So we could get back a Diamond Dairy. So we could have some food processing plants that make healthy alternatives to what we are importing that is killing our society. That is how I see it. But people, let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinions.
I have one here. There are 3 fundamental issues plaguing farming in SVG. Farming is operated not as a business, but rather as a way of life. Farmers do not establish themselves into cooperative to address common issues such as pricing and marketing. And 3, the government do not have a clear plan for agriculture the same way they do with other sectors such as tourism.
Well, all this might be true, but we definitely want to hear from you. What are some things you see that can help to improve the state of farming in SVG? Be it livestock farming, be it general agricultural practices, the use of organic fertilizers instead of those that we import that are heavily chemical based that lead to health problems down the line, as has been proven in many first world countries where they are now banned, but we're still using a lot of them here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. What is the solution and what are some of the fixes that could help to bring about the solution that is desired? Let us know, 430-1043. We got some bills to pay, we got music to play, and we got a lot more on this discussion coming your way right here on the Wake Up Call. But before we go, man, sign up to a new Flow Hero bundle today.